So a few years ago, I was still doing my social media and I just couldn't take it any longer. I'm a business owner. I was wearing way too many hats and I needed to get social media off my plate. So I hired this person and she looked phenomenal on paper. She had great interviews and was just passing everything with flying colors. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be the person that comes into this business and helps blow up our social, but also just gives me some time back. So we make her a job offer. She accepts. I'm so excited. However, I have hired probably hundreds of people over the last 23 years as a business owner. And there is a moment when some people, you can kind of tell, like, they're like, oh, I've made it. I'm here. They're not firing me. Like, I'm in, right? And I felt like that moment for her was on day 3. And she comes into our daily huddle. We are online. We are a virtual remote business. So I'm working from my home office and we have a business casual dress code. I mean, you can see I'm not wearing anything crazy. Like, there's no blazer. Half the time we say to them, like, you're only going to be filmed from here up. So just like brush your hair and put on a shirt and you're good, right? So she comes to the call. And she's a little late and she's definitely flustered and she's got a hoodie on and her hair is kind of disheveled. It really looks like she slept in, she rolled out of bed and she got on the call. And here's the thing, okay? I'm not as horrible as I sound, all right? When that happened, people make mistakes, right? So I thought, oh my goodness, she probably feels horrible. She slept in. She's like rushing to this call. So anyway, afterwards, I just said privately, I don't ever say anything negative publicly. We say it privately. So we always say praise in public, but criticize in private. So I was just like, hey, I saw you were a few minutes late. Like, what happened this morning? Everything okay? Right? And she could just tell she was very casual about it. Like, oh, everything's fine. Like, I'm good. I'm good. I was hoping she was going to say, oh my goodness, here's what happened. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again. Okay. So I realized very quickly, wow, she doesn't think this is a problem. And her not recognizing, not having an awareness is a massive red flag. Okay. So I, as the business owner, say to her, okay, so just so you are aware, and I know it, you're onboarding, there's a million things to remember. So please, there's nothing, like, don't feel bad about this, but we have a business casual dress code. And what that means is, right. And I'm like showing her like, this is what business casual looks like or business professional, right? Whatever it is. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Okay, sounds good. Like, seemed receptive. So I thought, oh, she just forgot. Like, when you onboard somebody into your, for them into a brand new job, right? There's a million things for them to remember and they're not going to remember them all. So again, I'm giving grace. I'm like, oh, she's new. She forgot. She's going to fix it tomorrow. No big deal. So tomorrow happens. She shows up. Same deal. Hoodie, big hood behind you, right? Like, there is nothing business casual about a hoodie. So she comes, she does the same behavior. So one of the things you really want to do as a business owner is you want to catch the behavior in real time, because if you don't, you just you get resentful, right? And then all of a sudden she's been doing it daily for 2 weeks. And then you say something and she's like, why didn't you say anything? Right? So time number 2, we're like, hey, I noticed the hoodie again. We talked yesterday. Here's what we expect. And this time she wasn't like, okay, got it. She was like annoyed. Like, I think she thought, this isn't a big deal. Why are you bringing this up? Like, if I want to wear a hoodie, not a big deal. Okay. So I bring it up. That's how she responds. I'm already like, this isn't going to work. Like, I like I said, I've hired many, many people. I've fired many, many people. I could tell where we were heading. You're never going to believe this. So tomorrow, next day, not only does she come late with the hoodie on, the hoodie is up. Imagine all of these like amazing professional, like business coaches, right? Consultants. We're all on the call. We all look put together. We're ready to go. And somebody rolls out of bed, literally wearing pajamas with a hoodie up, hair just like falling out of this hoodie. Just to me now, this is like such a lack of respect. This isn't about wearing a hoodie. This is about, we are telling you the rules, which it's not that crazy to say you're business casual, right? Everybody should have a dress code in their business. I don't care what you do. There should be a dress code, right? This is how we show up. So this time we let her go, right? I'm just like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm not sure where the disconnect is happening. I thought I've been very, very clear, right? But now this is starting to become a pattern, and like there's not progress happening. Like we are going to part ways. This is not a good fit. Okay. I didn't specifically say like, I'm letting you go because you're wearing a hoodie. There were many reasons I let her go. This was like the icing on the cake, okay? So we end up letting her go within just a few weeks of her starting. I think she might have been on week 3. She definitely did not make it to day 30. Now, what's crazy about the story, the craziest part of the story is she was surprised. Not only was she surprised, she was mad. She was angry. She thought we were being unfair. She thought we were being completely ridiculous for having a dress code and telling her she couldn't wear what she wanted to wear, okay? Now, what's so crazy is I'm sitting here putting out what I don't believe is anything crazy of a rule, right? Letting people know like, hey, this is what we show up as. I mean, I could easily say you need to be in a suit. You need to be in a blazer. You need to be showing up. And I'm not, right? So I already feel like I'm not even being that crazy or that harsh. And yet, why do I feel funny? Or why do I feel like I can't say something to her, or that I'm being mean, or that I'm being a bad boss, right? Somebody might be watching thinking like, this is kind of ridiculous, right? And I felt like, can I really use like one of these situations as a reason to not move forward? And here's what you have to understand. She doesn't listen to rules. She doesn't follow rules. She shows up late. She doesn't meet deadlines. She's not actually taking what we're doing seriously. And that to me is being out of alignment with our company values. And that is bigger than anything you could be doing. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is because as a business owner, I have felt so bad, so guilty letting people go. And I would let things slide, right? I would think, well, it's not that big. It's just 2 minutes, not that big of a deal. It's just a hoodie, like who really cares, right? I would let things slide. And then I would get more and more resentful and more of these things would start to happen, right? And then all of a sudden you're 6 months in, you've wasted all this payroll, all this money, it's eating up your profit and they're not the right fit, right? Now, I bring this up because I coach hundreds and hundreds of active members right now. And one of the hardest things for business owners to do is to fire people. Like I have had people say things like, but they're so nice. Like I feel horrible. How am I going to do this to this nice person? Like they've been with me for 7 years. She's the first person I hired. How could I possibly let her go? She helped me get here and now I'm going to drop her because she can't get me there. Yes. Yes. I mean, we are not here to hold on to the same people over and over and over just because they've been here the longest or they're nice. We are running a business and every person in that business needs to contribute to the team. And if you have a person who is not contributing in a valuable way, you may need to have some hard conversations. And after I would let things slide and slide and slide, pretty soon I realized, letting one thing slide turned into doing it again, and then a few days later, and then pretty soon it was just their habit, right? Somebody that you allow to come in late today, that you don't say anything, right? Because it's like, it's just one time, it's 2 minutes. You don't say anything, but your lack of saying something is letting them think it's not a big deal. So they do it again. And then all of a sudden, like the 15th time, not only do they do it again, but they come walking in the door with their Starbucks and they're not even saying, oh, sorry, I'm late. They're just like, hey, everybody, good morning. And we sit down like nothing happened. It's like, we've been waiting for you for 15 minutes to start this meeting. So trust me when I say you get what you tolerate. So many business owners are not taking ownership of what is around them, what has happened around them. Please know you have hired these people, right? Or you've trained them, or you've done a very poorly job hiring them and a poorly job training them. And now you're getting the effect of it. Now, that was the old Stacy that would let things slide. No. Today, the new Stacy, we have a business that produces over 7 figures, over $1 million a month. And we have over 50 full-time team members. And let me tell you, we don't let things slide. And guess what? A players love that because A players do not want to tolerate B players. And the people that are showing up, wearing hoodies, being disrespectful, getting here late are definitely your B players. So if you're a small business owner and you have struggled with hiring or firing and making these really hard decisions, firing family, firing friends, firing lifelong, like long-time employees, right? Then I'm going to share with you some of my takeaways from this story so that you can hire better and then hopefully fire less because you have such amazing hiring skills. Lesson number 1 is how you do anything is how you do everything. So when this person shows up and they're not listening, right? it just tells me, oh, wow, they don't think they have to follow the rules. So they're going to have other situations pop up. And like I said, I didn't fire her just because of the hoodie situation. It was like 3 weeks of this kind of behavior. Another story with the same girl is one day she's like, hey, everybody, letting you guys know we have no internet today, so I won't be able to work. Okay. This was on a Friday. And then my marketing director messages back and says, no worries. Why don't you go to Starbucks or McDonald's? There's a lot of places around you that has free internet, so you'll be able to get your work done. So she replies and says, no can do. I don't have a car. And my manager's like, okay, no worries. Why don't you call an Uber? There's a McDonald's that is like 3 minutes from your house. Okay. She never responds. We show up Monday and we're like, hey, what did you do on Friday? And she's like, I told you guys I didn't have internet. I couldn't work. Okay. Now we have somebody who is not resourceful, right? They are not even trying. This was like week 2 of employment. If this is how she is in week 2, guys, month 6 is going to be unbearable, right? Like she is showing you like how you do anything is how you do everything. She was showing us. Okay. And again, remember when I fired her, she was blown away, like completely shocked that she was getting fired. Crazy. The next point is lack of coachability is massive. So I don't need you to be perfect. I understand we all mess up. We all make mistakes. My amazing A players are making mistakes. However, you shouldn't be making the same mistake twice. Like to make, let's say like with the hoodie situation, literally day 2 shows back up, same mistake. What is going on here? Like why was there no coachability? It would have been different if she would have like stepped it up and started like showing up in business casual. And then like 3 weeks later, maybe all of a sudden she slipped it in again. Okay. That is very different. But like there was no coachability. There was no accountability. There was no trying to be better. And when you're not trying, I can't afford to keep paying somebody who's not actually in it for the long haul, right? I want somebody who's committed to this business. You are committed to your business. You need other people around you committed to your business too. And that brings me to patterns matter more than one-off mistakes. So I had somebody one time, huge mistake, like fireable mistake, okay? I own dance, music, acting schools. I have a few locations here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and one of my A players, okay, she's supposed to open up the studio Saturday morning. And all of a sudden, I'm getting a call. I don't even remember who I got the call from, but I'm getting a call that there is like 30 people standing outside our doors. We're supposed to be open. The dance teacher called. She did not have a key yet. I think she was maybe new. And the front desk person wasn't there. So they couldn't open the door. So everybody is like standing in the parking lot waiting to do this, okay? So anyway, I have to run to one of my buildings to open up the door. Now, what happens to the girl? She's thinking I'm getting fired. This is so big. Okay. So she slept in, caused a major, like people wanted refunds for that day. Like it was a very costly mistake. Okay. Could I have fired her? Yes. This was like 15 years ago. I was working with a coach and I said, what do I do? This is so big. I feel like she needs to be like punished, right? Like what do I do? And he's like, okay, how did she respond? And I said, oh, she was mortified. She was like, oh my gosh, I've never done that. I slept horrible. I was feeling sick. And then I slept through my alarm. I must have turned it off and I just kept sleeping. I've never done that before. That it will never happen again. Like she was mortified. He's like, perfect. That is a total normal behavior for an A player to respond that way. So we're good. Like, I'm like, do I need to, like, what do I do? Do I say something? Whatever. He's like, yeah, you tell her like, hey, I know you messed up. I know you feel horrible. I think we can both agree that that can never happen again. And as long as you understand that, we're going to move forward. And she was like, thank you. Like, thank you for understanding. Okay. Now she worked with me. Oh my goodness. I think like another 12 years. Did she ever do it again? No, she never did it again. Okay. So patterns is what you want to look for, not one-off mistakes. One-off, even big mistakes can still happen and it's okay as long as they're coachable and they're not repeating it. The second they're repeating these mistakes, it's just screaming at you, right? We've got a problem here. Next is culture is built and broken by behavior. So the reason this was such a big deal is if I'm setting the standard of, listen, we have a dress code, right? And I don't address the dress code and she keeps showing up wearing what she's wearing, all of a sudden people are like, showing up wearing the same thing. And all of a sudden we go from all looking professional to everybody's in pajamas on a Zoom call. Okay. And if you don't say something, what happens is that one person's behavior starts to show everybody else it's okay, and it spreads. So when the one person keeps walking in late and everybody else is like, well, she's always late, it's not a big deal. So if I need to stop to do this today, it shouldn't be a big deal. You're literally building the culture of it's not a big deal to be late here. Or if you allow somebody to talk back to you in front of everybody, like I'm talking like talk back disrespectfully, and you kind of take it, right? You're teaching people it's okay to speak to me like that, right? So you've got to be careful, because what behaviors you allow, you're telling the rest of the room, we tolerate this, it's okay. And again, the A players who do not want to tolerate that are going to leave you and find a different A player opportunity. And you can't afford to lose your best people, because your worst people aren't following the rules. Next point, and this is a big one. People, when they reveal themselves, okay, and they can reveal themselves very quickly, you need to understand this is who they are, and you don't want to just give them more time to see. So what happens is people will say something like, well, she's only been here 3 months, so I feel like I can't fire her yet. I'm like, wait, what? I have let people go within 7 days of joining our company, literally a week, where we have said, you know what? I'm sorry, this is not a good fit. Like, we've been working together for 7 days, and already maybe our communication isn't working, or they were not as skilled as they thought. Like something is, or as they kind of said in the interview, right? We've had people lie in interviews, and then 7 days in, we're like, oh, no. They do not have the experience that they said they did on their resume. So I really want you to understand that you don't need to just give it time when you are having these red flags. Now, you need to understand your state or your country's laws on firing, and possibly consult an attorney if you don't know what the laws are. But if you are in a situation where you're legally allowed to let somebody go at month 3 or day 7, right? What I'm saying is these are people that could fire legally, and they're choosing not to because they're like, I don't know, I feel so bad. And, I've been so busy and I haven't really had time to train them, and it's kind of my fault. Okay. You as the owner need to figure out, when am I going to train this person? And you need to go all in training this person. When you don't pour in and then you keep them because of that, it's costing you so much money. So go all in, train them really, really well. So when you realize this isn't working, you can let them go instead of holding on to them and restarting the onboarding process. And you have to pay attention. You have to be catching, wow, I told this person this and they're not listening. They're actually doing the opposite of what I said. Not everyone deserves a 90-day grace period. So it's not like a good thing to give somebody the full 90 days. You're not being a good boss or a nice boss by giving somebody 90 days. When you know they're never going to make it, I'm never going to keep them a month 4, you are doing them a disservice by not letting them go find the right job and starting to build their seniority there. You're prolonging them starting from scratch, right? As you continue to hire and you start building out your team, what I want you to be thinking about is what we call like pacing. So we know right now, I mean, I've been in business now so many years. I've probably had like 5 social media managers. I know what a social media manager should look like 30 days in, 2 months in, 6 months in. I literally have documentation of like 2 weeks in, they should be able to do X, Y, Z, 4 weeks in, right? And how do I have that written down? Well, because my best social media manager, I have her things documented. So if I ever need to replace somebody, right, I know where people should be pacing or what success looks like in this role. Like if you were to work for me in a customer success manager role, I know what the best A players look like at day 7, day 14, day 30, etc. So if you come in and at day 14, you aren't even anywhere near the pace of our best A players, right? Number 1, we're going to have a very honest, kind conversation to let you know, typically our best A players, they are here on day 14. Right now, we are here and we show them the gap. How are you feeling? Do you feel behind? Do you feel overwhelmed? Fill me in. And a lot of times they'll say, I can tell. Like, I do feel behind. I'm not surprised to see this gap. And sometimes they'll opt out and say, I'm not sure this is a good fit. And you really want to get to that conversation as fast as possible, because holding on to them, it's going to cost you so much money. So being able to say, here is where we typically see people at on day 30, here's where you are, right? We've really got to close that gap in the next 30 days for you to stay here, right? To be clear is to be kind. To be honest is to be kind. And my last point is just hiring wrong, right? Is one of the most costly mistakes you can make in business. One of the things that I see people do all the time, busy business owners, they just want things done for them. So they want to hire a recruiter. They're like, I'll have friends that message me and they say, Stacey, I found this amazing company that they'll actually come in, they'll systematize your whole business, they'll hire the operator for you, and then they'll put the operator in the business, and then you don't have to do anything. And I'm like, listen, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. There is not an easy button that you get to push and skip the whole headache of building and growing your team. If you are not learning the skill set of hiring and training and having hard conversations, you will plateau at some point, or you'll keep climbing, but it's feeling like it's getting harder as the team gets bigger. So you really need to make sure that one of the biggest skill sets you learn as a business owner is how to recruit, hire, and train top tier talent. This is something that will, your capacity is endless, right? Somebody said to me, how big do you think you can get this business to be? I was like, there's no limit. I know how to hire revenue generators, people that make me more money than they cost me, right? So I'm playing with slot machines. I'm finding dollar slot machines. I put in $1, it pops out $2. I put in $1, it pops out 50 cents. And I go, oh no, I know my standards. I don't put in $1 and get 50 cents out. So I'm done playing with this slot machine, right? We're moving on. I'm getting so good at that. I mean, I've been doing it for 2 decades, but you've got to get good at that. You've got to get good at picking the right slot machine, knowing that even me, 23 years in, sometimes I pick the wrong slot machine. But guess what? When I pull that handle and I get the 50 cents after I put in $1, I'm like, oh, no, I'm not playing this game. This is not my slot machine, right? So I really want you to know there's nothing more important for you, the business owner, to be learning how to do this yourself. Now, to give you a little relief, I don't hire, pretty much train, or fire anybody. Once you build your team, you're building your leaders, you're building your managers. My managers are hiring, training, onboarding, and firing. So guess what? It gets pretty fun when you don't have to do it, but your team knows how to do it. Now, I have a hiring guide, and in here, it's really just giving you tips and strategies for recruiting, really getting A players. I call it stress-free hiring. Now, is it, again, 100% stress-free? No, you're gonna be nervous. Am I making the right decision? But like I said, when you pick the slot machine and you pull it and it doesn't give you what you want, you're like, oh, good to know. Facts, right, over feelings. We don't have drama about picking the wrong slot machine. We're like, oh, I picked the wrong slot machine. Good to know. Let's find another one. So if you want that PDF, that guide, comment the word hiring below. We'll reply back with that guide for you. Definitely go through it. Start building this skill set, because as soon as you start to understand how to hire and train A players, your business is going to take off at another level that you didn't even realize you could get to. And your workload is going to be so much less because these people start carrying the weight of your business with you.